Everybody, we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. It is your draft preview edition. Welcome back, guys. Definitely had a draft. It was a nice, enjoyable draft. Drafts are way too long to me. I think they should just be one day like they used to be, but these 3 days, NFL needs to make money. So, well, here we are. It's the end of the draft, and we are here. It's Tape Don't Lie, your favorite Raiders podcast. Make sure you hit the like button. All right, make sure you hit the like button. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. Help us get there. All right, make sure you subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me and at BD Williams 18 for BD. All right, BD, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about the draft? And
Yeah, I mean, I feel great. Trevon Moehrig is my number one safety, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'll talk about him later. I also liked Gillespie. I thought that he was a good player. So I'm glad that they got him. I don't think
yeah,
that as far as like redundancy, we talk about it on this show. You're only as good as your depth pieces. Someone's gonna get hurt. You got to have guys who are talented, who belong in the NFL and
yeah.
who aren't fringe
Mm-hmm.
players who are your backups because that's how you get exposed. Or at least that's how the bad teams get exposed. So,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Even if
Yeah, you're
Gillespie
right.
doesn't play, I'm still happy with the pick. You talked about Kuntz. You
Yeah.
talked about Alex Leatherwood. Okay,
Hmm.
bro, you're killing it with the draft coverage, man.
Yeah.
Get everyone follow this man. He knows what he's talking about. He was nailing it this off season. So great job, Marcus. I think that the listeners, the viewers
Thank you, man.
could
Appreciate that.
tell, like imagine if no one had watched Tape Don't Lie when you did Malcolm Combs and they drafted Malcolm Combs. You know,
Yeah.
I think he might have helped to,
Yeah. Nobody would know anything.
I think you might have helped to, stop overreactions, honestly. I think you did that single handedly. With
That is true. That is true.
so
I
so
did slow down
kudos.
overreactions
Nice
a lot. I did
nice
slow down
job
on
with
that one.
that, bro. Nice job with that. So yeah,
Because that was
so
super hype, bro. If we were live streaming that one, yeah,
yeah, I mean
it'd be
you
crazy.
called mad of him, bro. You called him, bro. I'm not familiar with Hobbs. Never watched Hobbs, so I'm gonna jump into that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think overall they attacked the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, that's like the biggest thing, and the offensive line. Obviously, that's the biggest thing. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us. But for today, why don't you set the table and let the viewers know what we're getting into today?
Today, what we're getting into is, we're going to go over the main picks, the first 2 round picks. I mean, the picks that you want to land. You want to land your first and second round picks, right? That's what you're looking to land. You hit third and fourth and fifth round. I mean, you'd be happy, right? But your first and your second round, you're looking for starters. That's what you're looking for, first and second round pick. If you ain't getting starters in the first and second round, you're messing up. So you definitely need
Right.
to work out, get some starters there. And that's what you're trying to do. And that's what we'll be covering today. So we're going to do a little Alex Leatherwood, right? Or do a little Trevon Moehrig, right? We're going to do a little breakdown. We already kind of broke these guys down a little bit, but now we're doing like feature segments. We're going to go a little deeper and kind of, see what's going on with these guys. See why the Raiders like them. You know what I mean? Why they are a fit. Because, I think Alex Leatherwood is a great fit for
Fit.
what they
Yeah,
want to do.
it's a great fit.
He's a
He's a
great
great.
fit. He
Yeah.
is. He's a great fit for what they want to do. They want to run the ball and they want to do outside zone and they want to do zone and they want to get him out in space. I mean, he's perfect for whatever you want to do, pull, all that good stuff. I mean, he's a great fit. You know what I mean? But we'll break down like what he'll have to work on. I mean, I'm not gonna say like it's gonna be like, he's gonna be terrible because of it. I'm gonna say what he needs to work on because they're prospects. Let's keep it real, guys. They're prospects, so they're not gonna come in like ready to go. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna talk about what he needs to work on and what he's already good at. Though we're gonna talk about what he's already good at too. So, and it might have felt like a reach at the time, right? Right, but I mean, it still kind of was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it still kind of was a little bit of a reach, but
How about this?
But
How about this?
yeah,
Instead of calling Alex Leatherwood a reach, which if you do
yeah,
that, I'm not going to argue with you. Me personally, it seems like, and obviously not on the Raiders board because a report came out saying that he was their number one offensive tackle over Penei Sewell. So
yeah,
there's definitely a flawed and evaluation going on at some point there, probably. Okay.
mm,
Um, Remains to be seen. Maybe Penei Sewell won't turn out good and Alex Leatherwood's all pro, but it's more likely to be the reverse, to be quite honest with Raider Nation right now.
yeah,
But, the way I look at it, it's like after Penei Sewell, after Rashawn Slater, okay, there's probably like 5 or 6 guys who were really quality. You could plug and play first round, day one tackles,
yeah,
Tevin Jenkins, Brady Christensen, Eichenberg is probably in that list. Darisaw, and you could throw Alex Leatherwood in that list. Great. When there's so many tackles left, just trade down a little bit. Just trade down. That's what we want to see from Mike Mayock.
yeah,
If he traded back 5 spots, okay, and got Alex Leatherwood, everyone would be like, great, awesome job. If he traded back 5 spots and they didn't land Alex Leatherwood, is it going to make or break the franchise? Like, okay, go get Eichenberg then. Like
yeah,
it'll be okay.
yeah,
So that's kind of, it seems like they get the blinders on in the first round. They refuse to trade out, and they don't see the
yeah,
board the way that it seems like the rest of the NFL, or at least they don't understand like the consensus, and that's probably a really difficult thing to gauge. And at the end of
yeah.
the day, they got the guy that they wanted to get, and the only thing that's going to make it, people stop complaining about it is if this guy starts turning in, Pro Bowl caliber performances. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I mean they did try to trade back. They did try to trade back. They just didn't like the offers that they were getting, right? And they obviously that was their plan. I mean, they went into that draft like we're going to take Alex Leatherwood in the first
Yeah,
round. That was
right.
like their plan, right? That was what they're going to do. That was the number one tackle. That after the evaluation, that's where they wanted to go. And I get it, team captain, Outland Trophy, all that good stuff. But let's just go. Let's just start breaking it down. I mean, we're just talking. We'll talk about it a little bit afterwards. Let's get into a little Alex Leatherwood. Go ahead and get into Alex Leatherwood, right? And I mean, Alex Leatherwood, his tape is not like it's not bad. I mean, he really has good tape, right? I mean, this is a good player, and you can see why right here. Zone and space is why he is a special player right here, right? He just is great in space and in the zone game, right? You can see where in the run game what he's doing right here. You see just blowing over Ojari, right? Making a big hole right there, and that is what they drafted him for in the outside zone game, right? Good hands inside, just a lot of power, right? And that's why they think he's a special talent, is because of what he could do in space and the way he can move. And you see him here getting to the second level really quick on a power run, right? Getting to the second level, and it's a lot of athleticism, and he can just move, and he's great in space, and he's such a great run team here, pulling too, right? A lot of power, moving guys, creating holes when he's pulling. So Alex Leatherwood in the run game, that's why they really like him, right? He is pretty special in the run game, to be honest. Like, he is a bull, and he will constantly move in the run game in the zones, right? You see here, look at him just opening up the hole, great hands inside, right? Great technique. Like, he is a bull in the run game, and that's where the Raiders really like him, because he's a really good run blocker, seriously. So anchor game, right? And when he anchors, right, he's so powerful with the anchor, and he has a great technique with it. You see him right there. That when you anchor, O-line coaches, they say building the house, right? So I do want you to notice something with his little left hand punch, right? We're going to talk about that later, right? But he has a great anchor ability, right? Building the house, a lot of power. It's hard to bull rush through him. Like, he kind of does open up his chest a lot, but it's hard for teams to even to bull rush through him, because he has that great anchor ability, and he has a great base, puts his feet in the ground, and builds that house. So that's probably what's really special about him. But in pass pro, this is where it gets a little different, right? So you'll notice something that I kind of just talked about is called his left hand punch, right? He does a left hand punch on almost every single pass set. Okay, so we're gonna follow this. You kind of see it leaves his chest open, right? And I talked about that. But he in college, he had the power to anchor through that, right? We don't know, that might be a little something that might happen in the NFL that might be different. But you see that left hand punch is there, okay? And we'll see it once again. And sometimes it's working. I mean, right here, you got the power to control him, make the big pass right there. So you see it one more time. Right? You see he's about to do the left hand punch. Just every single time. Left hand punch. Boom. But he's able to control. Guy can't roll through him. Because he's got, I believe he's got pretty good feet. So he's got a good kick step. Okay. He's got a really, really good kick step. You see it right there too. Really good kick step. But once again, left hand punch. Right? Left hand punch once again. Right? Let me see it one more time here. Left hand punch. Good control though, but that's what I'm saying. He's got good feet, but that left hand punch is there every single time, and that's not something that you're gonna be able to do in the NFL a lot. But what you'll see here, this is where the left hand punch gets him in trouble. All right, so we got a play action pass. It's kind of like they basically do like what they call kind of like a jump set. If I'm wrong on that,
just it's a jump set. It's a jump set. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you'll see here, right? Left hand punch, but he's off, right? He's trying to lean with it. He's off because he's dependent on that left hand punch, and you can't really do that in a jump set. And he loses, and his feet, his base is all off, right? And then you see it again. Ojulari just cross chops it and blows past him.
Yeah, and so will a lot of guys in the NFL,
right? And then you see it one more time. Here's somebody else doing a cross chop on it. Boom, right past him. And that is something that they got to clean up. They have to clean that up. And if they don't, then, I mean, he's going to have a little trouble in his rookie year. And I think he's going to have a little trouble in his rookie year regardless with that. But I think some players, they're not going to be able to go through him because he's so powerful. I think he's such a big, powerful lineman that I think with some of the more like, I wouldn't say because the more average defensive linemen, defensive ends in the league, I think he's going to do pretty good against, to be honest, in pass pro, because he's so powerful. He doesn't have that power. He doesn't have that problem that Colt Miller had with strength and anchor ability. Like, you can't really bowl through him. Man. When he gets his feet in the ground, he gets his hands on you, you're not moving him. He's hard to move. And you even saw that even with the left hand punch problem, that guys, because he leaves his chest open, right? And guys probably think that, like, I could pull my chest, I can long arm through him. No, that ain't gonna happen. You ain't long arming through Leatherwood. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, so this dude, he is pretty special in the run game. I think he elevates this run game a lot, and I think the run game is going to be so much better with Leatherwood in there. That is where it's at, and I think that's what their focus is on. I think this is like Josh Jacobs off season. All right, so I think that, that's the outlook for him, is the run game. They're trying to run the football. The pass pro, I think they think they can work on that. They think they can fix up his technique, and they can work on it, and he can get better in pass pro kind of on the fly. But they think right now, which I agree with, he's ready to go run blocker in the NFL. Run blocking, NFL, run blocker, tackle, right tackle. That's why they probably think he's a right tackle too, because that historically the right tackle is the better run blocker historically. So they think he's a right tackle because of that. Yeah.
Going back to the hand usage, I've always, been taught, at least, when I'm doing my own research to understand, pass protection, is that especially when you're going on a vertical set, you want to land the punch with your inside hand and not your near hand, not the outside hand. So it's interesting that there's so many instances of not only him throwing the outside hand out there, but then also exposing his chest. Yeah, he'll get it cleaned up in the NFL, because as soon as he goes back into that bad habit, someone's gonna take advantage of that. Joey Bosa, Von Miller, there's some Frank Clark. There's some nasty pass rushers in the AFC West who will take advantage of bad technique. And those guys, they've seen plenty of Alex Leatherwoods in their life. So when he's gonna have to definitely hone in and improve the technique for sure. But yeah, again, he's gonna, like you're saying, He's going to elevate the run game for sure. I love the idea of Denzel Good and him on the same side
Mhm.
because those are going to be some big, powerful, strong guys.
Yeah.
And they're going to open up holes. And so hopefully we see the run game get back to where it was in 2019 um, with the help of Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I'm seriously that, that's what drove this pick, I think. I mean, I think that's why he's their favorite because he might be one of the best run blockers in the draft. I mean, but it's a passing league. So like Darisaw is a better pass blocker than him, and guys like that, they're better pass blockers, right? But I don't think they're better run blockers than Alex Leatherwood.
Right.
Right. So it all depends what you want. So, I mean, that's kind of the vision. I mean, I guess we're seeing the vision of what this offense wants to be, right? Because they didn't go with the tackle that is a better pass blocking tackle than he is a run blocking tackle, right? They went with the run blocking tackle because I mean, you saw it. I mean, he's special in space, and that's what they want to do. They want to move. They want to get Josh Jacobs on the outside zone,
The
wide
pin and
zone.
pull sweeps, the wide
Yep.
zones. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
They want them moving. And he's perfect for that. He's perfect. He's a great fit. So you got to look at it like, yeah, was he probably a second round tackle just based on his pass pro ability? Yeah, you can say he's a second round tackle based on his pass pro technique. But for me in this draft, I will say, I mean, after like 15, even when I'm grading players, like after like 15, we were getting to more like second round grades. Okay. So since we get to the point where there's a lot of second round grades, I mean, that's where you saw in this draft, you saw like Eric Stokes go at 29. Because I mean, at that point in the draft, which this wasn't the best draft in the world either. Right. So once he saw the end of the draft, he just kind of saw people just taking people based on upside and things like that, right?
Yes.
You saw like, I mean, Joe
Peyton
Tryon
Turner. Peyton Turner went first round.
Peyton Turner went first round, right?
So yeah, right.
Peyton Turner went first round.
Yeah, I mean that pick, like we could poke a lot of holes in that young man's game, but you can't say that he's not a physical specimen, right? And that's what Alex Leatherwood is. He's got an incredibly high relative athletic score for those people that are into that sort of thing. And I guess there's some debate about his arm length. Did you look into that?
Yeah. So at the Senior Bowl, he's 34 and 3/8 at the Senior Bowl.
Okay.
But at his pro day, he's 33 and 7/8. Now, I heard the Senior Bowl is very lenient, which I don't know. I don't know how I've been to the Senior Bowl 3 times. Okay, I watch them. They measure. I don't know what they're not measuring because they do the whole. I mean, I don't know.
How did they find more inches at the Senior Bowl? Pause.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how they did it.
That's weird. Well, before we get off the rails here.
I don't know where it came from, but his wingspan was still 90 percentile. So I don't know. So I don't know what happened to Alabama. Maybe Alabama they got the old school measurements over there at Alabama or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
it could be like they're going from like inside of the armpit at the Senior Bowl, and then it's like outside of like it could be. I don't know what are they doing it from like the inside of like the shoulder joint on the outside of the arm? You know what I'm saying? Or are they doing it for like the armpit? Like
so the Senior Bowl, I know they do inside arm. They do inside arm and they do wingspan.
So they do it from like they find your shoulder joint probably, right?
Yeah.
And then they measure from that. Yeah. Okay, so it just depends maybe on the method of collecting these. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I just say all that to say, if you were looking at the Senior Bowl measurements, he would have been.
Yeah,
he would have hit the cable thresholds, right?
Yeah, we would have. None of us would. Nobody would have been surprised because But he was 33 and 7/8, right? because I always thought when I first time I watched him, I'm like, oh my god, like Tom Gibbs, I love this guy. And then I can just hear John Gruden. He's Outland Trophy. Who John? I can just hear John Gruden. That's terrible John Gruden voice, but but I can just hear his voice going through his like all his achievements and everything he's done in college football, right?
Yeah, and look, when you're drafting a player, okay, you want them to have a certain athletic profile, right? You want them to have certain production. You want them to have obviously great tape, right? And then when you add on like trophies and like national championships and like the best college football program in the universe that he plays for, playing multiple positions for that offensive line, like he's a solid prospect. Like he's gonna play and then be a starter in the NFL for a long time. There is like a question mark about when will he get the what's the word I'm looking for? When will he close that skill gap as a pass protector? And it's just a question of like how quickly he gets that closed. So that there's not a sack given up here and there. But also at the same time, he's better than Brandon Parker.
Brandon Parker, for sure. That's the main thing I thought when I was done with the review. Is like, you know what? If anything, he's better than Brandon Parker. So I feel a lot better. But the offensive line as a whole, it's kind of it is a little bit of a question mark going into the year. It's probably one of the question marks that we have is like, how good is this offensive line going to be? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? Like, we don't even know how good Andre James is going to be, or is Nick Martin going to beat him out? Is there going to be a battle there? They drafted a center 7th round, but I mean, I don't know if that really matters. But
I think that if anything, it'll be more athletic, with the exception of Richie Incognito. But when Richie Incognito, when he's there, he can move.
He's all right.
Right? He's probably the best pulling guard in football, at least, going like 2017, 2016, like best pulling guard in football. Right.
Incognito's good, bro.
Yeah, he's good. He's good money. Right.
You ain't got to worry about him.
When he's healthy. Yeah. So
that's the thing.
And that's the thing. They're gonna run the ball behind this offensive line. That's what they wanted. That's why they got younger on the offensive line. And that's why, guys like Gabe Jackson and Rodney Hudson, while they were getting it done in pass protection, there was questions about their ability to run block. Really, like it's valid to say that. And probably most teams, they're going to value pass protection way more than run blocking.
Yeah.
Right. Like it or love it. We saw it with this Alex Leatherwood pick. They are really valuing run blocking. Right.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Because this is another pick. If this is 2007, like we would have been like, man, Leatherwood is awesome. You know what I mean?
Honest. Right. Oh, of course.
It's 2021, and pass protection is like a pass protector is going to make you a first round pick more than the way he run blocks. Because he's a first round run blocker, 100%. I believe it. It's just that the pass blocking needs work, and since the pass blocking needs work, that's why you have that second round value with him. But it's not that much work. That's the thing with him as a pass blocker. I mean, it's just mostly hand usage. He's pretty late with his hands. Yeah. Sometimes when he run blocks, he can lean, and sometimes he can get beat by some quick guys. But just keep him moving laterally. Just keep making him do reach blocks, moving laterally. You'll avoid that. Like, you know what I mean? But it's not a lot, because to be honest, Colton Miller to me was a bigger project than Alex Leatherwood is.
Okay.
So I'll say that, like, Colton Miller had needed a lot of work. Like he was just
because his feet were off.
He was a mold of clay. Like he was just so raw, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So he was a raw player, and I don't think Alex Leatherwood is as raw as Colton Miller is. So I think there's a little bit more like solidness. This is the run game mostly. But I think the pass protection, I think you just got to get his hands up quicker, and you got to get his out. See, he's got to stop that outside hand thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's gonna learn really quick that he can't do that. I think he's gonna learn that in camp. To be honest,
Right. Yeah,
he'll learn that in camp. Yannick will teach him. Will cross chop the hell out of that arm.
Yeah,
so
right.
He'll learn real quick.
He'll learn. Anything else you want to talk about Alex Leatherwood?
No, man. Like I said, guys, like just the upgrade in the run game. That's what we're gonna see. I think Josh Jacobs is gonna play a whole lot better this year. That's kind of my prediction. I just hope they play action. That's good. Come on, guys. Let's get it. Let's get this Yankee concept going. You know what I mean? A little play action sale. Just give it to me. You know what I mean? Play action.
Yeah, for sure.
Play action with some missile routes. You know, let's get it. Like let's go like 35% the whole year. Like it's just everything. That's what I want. I mean, if you can run the ball, why not? Like what? First down,
they're gonna run the ball.
Every first down, like if we're throwing the ball first down, should be play action, like every single time.
Right.
I mean, that helps the line too. Keeps the line at bay. Helps everything.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna I'll jump into my Trevon Moehrig breakdown.
Okay.
You know,
which is the more sexy pick. Everybody loves this one. This is Jeremiah going crazy. This guy's number 16 on my board.
Yeah.
The value here.
Yeah. It's probably great value by most people's accounts. Yeah. You know, when just so people understand, I have been watching safeties and really focusing in on safeties for a few years now. This is probably my 5th year of like really focusing, like grading them, charting all their athletic testing, looking at their production, giving them skill grades, things like that. And, you know, he was my number 1 safety this year. You know, he's not my number 1 safety ever. You know, he's not, you know, he's not.
You got to drop your number 1 safety ever, though, man. You just can't say.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I had Minkah Fitzpatrick and Derwin James. They had like a tie grade that in the year that I was doing it. I've adjusted my system each year. I've tweaked it. So if I put their numbers and everything like that, you know, I don't know who would end up winning, but they were incredibly close. They were like neck and neck. You know, I had Jamal Adams high up there. Darnell Savage was high for me. Juan Thornhill was high for me. Terrell Edmonds was also pretty high.
Look at all your hits, bro. Look at you.
Well, I mean, everyone knew those guys were. Come on, that's not even.
I mean, everybody knew Juan Thornhill. I mean, not everybody was a Juan Thornhill guy.
I thought that. I felt like maybe I'm just like in an echo chamber on Twitter because I thought that a lot of guys like Juan Thornhill, but yeah, I really like Juan Thornhill. So he's not probably. I think he'd probably be like maybe getting close to Juan Thornhill. You know, Trevon Moehrig. You know, close to that grade, but not like I saw him. You know, take this with a grain of salt. That's why he was there in the 2nd round, right? And there are some things that we could talk about. I'm going to talk about what he is really good at, okay? And so here, let me share my screen. All right, so first thing that I want to talk to everyone about is he's a really smart player. He's a crafty guy. He understands route concepts, okay? And he played in a cover 4 scheme, okay, where you know you need to match and pattern match routes. Okay, so right now in this scheme, he's responsible for 2 vertical, okay, and he's gonna get an under from 2, and so he's gonna go ahead and leverage step over and find the final 2, which is that tight end running that little stick route right there, okay. And he does all of this, you know, on the run. You don't see him waste any time processing. He understands it. He gets it quickly. Okay. Here's another example in a cover 4 scheme again of him, you know, that he wasn't targeted on this, but you know, you see him. So we got 3 receivers. He's responsible for number 2 in this defense. Okay. And all of these guys end up switching places by the time the routes are finalized, and you see him pointing out to his corner, hey, that's your guy. I'm taking this guy. And there's no wasted movement. He does it all immediately. And you could tell, like, you just see him flip his hips immediately. He knows, oh, that guy's going out. This is my guy now. Finds his guy, route recognition, is top notch. Okay. And what does a free safety need? Free safety needs range. Okay. And there's some good moments showing off that range. Okay. Here's an example there in cover 4. He has the tight end, but the tight end stays in the block and he comes and helps out on a fade in cover 4, which is a relatively uncommon. This is an atypical thing. Okay. And when he sees this tight end stay in, he's supposed to help out on a post or a dig. Okay. Rarely do you see a cover 4 safety get all the way to the sideline when that tight end stays inside. Rarely do you see a cover 4 safety get all the way to the sideline on a fade ball. I have not seen too much of that. I've only seen one Thornhill do that on tape. So he has great range. Okay. I think he probably got here a little too early in terms of timing it, but he can get to the sideline, right? This example is in cover 2. Again, helps out, erases that mistake from his player. Both these plays, the corner does a really bad job, and he ends up saving that guy. This time, this corner just falls right on the ground, and Trevon Moehrig gets there and makes a great interception. And then this is also another example of him. This time, he's in single high, middle of field closed. Okay, and he's doing it from a depth that is a college depth, right around like 12 yards off the ball. Your single high safeties in the NFL are going to be around 18 yards off the ball, and he's able to half turn this and just kind of read right where the quarterback is throwing to. So he wasn't under a lot of stress there, but I like that he ends up coming with a pass breakup. This is just an example, though. He is going to need to work on his instincts as a single high defender. They're showing cover 4. He's going to rock back into that single high. And when he sees this seam route come, completely unguarded, he's going to come up, nail on this screen route. And this quarterback goes, okay, I'll take that on the outside there. Right. And normally you'd like to see the deep middle field safety be deep as the deepest wide receiver. Right. That's just a general rule of thumb. Obviously, would have helped if his linebackers didn't bust that coverage right there and he didn't have to go and erase that. So we need to work on probably middle of the field a little bit. Now, man coverage. This is where Trevon Moehrig is, for me, the best in class man coverage guy as a safety coming out. This example from Oklahoma State in 2019, he comes down with an acrobatic flying interception. And what I really love about this play is, for a moment, he's out of phase, meaning he could be beat, right? And a lot of times you see guys panic, and really the best cover guys, they get beat sometimes, but they don't panic. You see him, he keeps his head on the wide receiver. He's going to hawk him down. He's going to close that gap before he turns his head around. And when he gets back in phase, he knows he can turn his head around, runs the route, high points it, comes down with a great acrobatic interception. Okay. This is another example from 2019 against Purdue. He's in man coverage on the slot receiver right here when this receiver goes vertical, and he has the recovery speed to come up with an interception here. And the reason why he needed to recover and he doesn't do the little things right in 2019 tape is this receiver takes an inside stem, and so he needs to leverage step to maintain his inside leverage. Okay, still got some things that you can't teach: the recovery speed, the burst, the ability to make this. Okay, now this is 2020. Watch how he takes this leverage step. Okay, so his technique improves. Okay, 2020, watch him take the leverage step. So the technique improved to go along with some great things that you can't teach. As far as his man coverage ability, that's something that I'm really excited, because I think that he complements Jonathan Abrams so well. Jonathan Abrams, he's a guy you don't ever have to worry about, like, especially in the box. He's going to be a great run defender. He's going to run the alley. He's going to be very physical, and that's not really Trevon Moehrig's game, like being a box safety, right? I could have found some clips, and there's clips here and there of Trevon Moehrig like missing tackles. It's just not his forte, right? Like, he can get guys on the ground. He's not like the greatest tackler of all time. Okay, so like you know, there's going to be some missed tackles here and there. If you watch enough games of his, you'll probably see, missed tackle every 1 or 2 games. So that is something that he needs to clean up. But what Jonathan Abram really struggles at, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, Jonathan Abram really struggles in man coverage, and Trevon Moehrig does not. And so now you got guys who can do complementary things, right? And as a defensive coordinator, now you can mix and match, where you put guys. And so I think that boosts this Raiders defense. So yeah, I am excited. I definitely think he's plug and play. Like, there's no competition. This guy is starting. Get him the NFL reps. He can be a special player in coverage. And if we start seeing him in the box missing tackles, that's not on Trevon Moehrig. That's on Gus Bradley. He's not a box safety. He's a cover safety, right? You have a bunch of box safeties. You got Jeff Heath, you got Carl Joseph, you got Jonathan Abram. Those guys are box safeties. There's no need for Trevon Moehrig to be like the primary run defender in a fit. Like, no, we don't need to do that from this guy. Like, let him be in coverage.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, and they drafted Divine Diablo, he played safety.
Yeah, he played safety. Yeah,
they want him to play will linebacker, which
yeah,
will linebacker. So.
Well, it's actually really interesting. So Hamza Nasruddin and Jamian Sherwood, 2 really big safeties, great athletic profiles. In college, they were safeties. Yeah. They got drafted by the Jets. Robert Saleh, who is Gus Bradley, protege, right? Mm-hmm. See, this is the Seattle cover 3 scheme, right? Mm-hmm. And he made both those guys, like they drafted those 2 big guys and they said they're safeties, right? Gus Bradley, he's drafting these guys saying they're safeties. And I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn drafted a safety and made him a linebacker. So all of these Seattle guys seem to like converting safeties to linebackers. They did that. Gus Bradley did that with Kaiser White in Los Angeles, right? So there's like a track record of that happening. Whether or not like that turns out into anything, Tanner Muse, Divine Diablo, great athletic profiles. We'll see if they can actually be NFL linebackers. But yeah, back to Moehrig. I think. What else can be said? Like, he's most people's number 1 safety. Raiders got him. He's the 3rd safety taken. I think it's great. Oh yeah, the one thing I did want to I remember now. That's what I wanted to say. When I was watching him, it's really cool to think about this, because I saw him last year when I was watching Jeff Gladney from TCU, and I was like, man, this guy's flying all over the place. I want to keep tabs on Trevon Moehrig. Okay, like I had to look up the TCU roster, find out who's number 7, all that. Okay, and so he's been like my number 1 safety and my favorite safety in all this entire process. Richie Grant came close. Richie Grant came close to like, going past it. But like when you just look at all the good things that Trevon Moehrig can do in coverage, he was my clear number 1 this year. So I've been watching him for a while, and I was a little disappointed this year because I thought that he wasn't quite as physical as what I remember him from 2019. Okay. And there are some games where if you watch some games, maybe it's like West Virginia this year, some of the games like late in the season, right? You're thinking like, okay, this isn't like the most explosive guy, or he doesn't have the most burst and things like that. But if you go to 2019, you're going to see a very explosive player. So I think that at some point in the middle of 2020, he got hurt. Maybe it was the Baylor game. Maybe it was the Texas game. He got hurt because he did not look as like have as much speed on film late in 2020 as he did in 2019. So I think that he's faster than his time, results from his pro day. So I think Raiders fans shouldn't be worried about his athleticism for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a great pick. So, I mean, there's really nothing too much to worry about. I think everybody likes that pick. I expect him to start too, you know what I mean? And I expect Gus Bradley to use him correctly. So, and just move him around a little bit more than we think, and just not pigeonhole him as the deep safety,
Yeah.
because and I think they're going to move some of these. I think they're going to move these guys around and try to not be as Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor type of thing. It's going to be a little bit of movement, so
Too late for that.
Yeah, it's too late for that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
There's going to be movement between these guys, and they're all not going to be pigeonholed. I mean, that's why they got Gillespie too. I mean, even if somebody goes down, Gillespie he could play a little. He's played a little deep safety. I mean, he wasn't the greatest deep safety in the world, but he's definitely better. Coming downhill and playing in the box, but he can do it. You know what I mean? Like, and so there is that depth there that is good to have at safety as well. But to have a safety like Moehrig, who if you hit, man, he could be a Pro Bowler. So,
right, he could, definitely could be a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. I was really resigned to the Raiders having to go third round for safety because these guys would have been gone. So I'm happy that they did end up making a move, trading up and grabbing him.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say is, the three deep safety scheme showed up a little bit in the NFL last year, right?
Yeah.
We saw Carolina do it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the Buccaneers do it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
To great success. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched that entire game on the All 22, and I found them do that a lot on third down. They got into three deep safety scheme a lot on third down at a dime personnel. So they have a lot of safeties on the roster. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of safeties. Trevon Moehrig played in a 3 deep safety scheme. They've got into 3 deep safety looks at TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Gillespie played in a 3 deep safety scheme at Missouri. They got into some 3 deep safety looks, right? Mm-hmm. So these guys have some, experience doing that. And this is something that gave Patrick Mahomes a lot of problems. If you go back to the last time Patrick Mahomes lost a game by that margin, okay, you have to go all the way back to when Texas Tech played Iowa State, who uses the 3 deep safeties.
Yeah, that is their base.
They are the originators of the 3 deep safety. Okay, so hopefully, I know that it's not, Gus Bradley, he's got a scheme. Okay, but hopefully we see some 3 deep safety looks because we got the guys that can do it. I'll just leave it at that. I won't get into too much prognostication.
But play action for me, you want to see 3 deep safeties. I mean that's basically that's our wishes. I want more play action. You want some 3 deep safeties.
That's our wish list. There you go. Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
For real. All right, man. Any other thoughts? We got Aaron Rodgers trade stuff going on. He's interested in the Raiders, but the reason why I don't think that he's going to get traded is because I think Matt LaFleur would quit. I think he would be like, I'm done. Fire me too. Because there's a disconnect there. It's not like with Carroll and Russell Wilson. When Carroll and Russell Wilson had problems, like Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers, they have like a love relationship. Matt LaFleur didn't even know that they were taking Jordan Love. Did you know that? He didn't even know that. Had no idea, right? So that's why I think that's never gonna happen, because I really think Matt LaFleur would like revolt. I think he'd want to quit too.
It would be pretty stupid of Matt LaFleur to turn down all that money and be like, here, take all this money back. But no, I understand what you're saying. I just don't think that. I think that they're a very stubborn front office, and obviously,
mm-hmm.
and I don't understand really why you would think that Aaron Rodgers would have the pull to be like, hey, can you draft a first round wide receiver? And they should be like, yes, Aaron, we will do this for you, right? Mm-hmm. But they refuse. They have like a philosophy, and no one is above the philosophy, even Aaron Rodgers. So I understand, why Aaron Rodgers would be a little frustrated, but I don't think that this front office is going to budge,
See, I know people hate on the Packers philosophy, but this is a Ron Wolf like Ted Thompson, like
Yes.
type of philosophy that they're doing, you know, and you know, they did a little more free agency stuff, but yeah, this is a known working, you know, type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's not that crazy type of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but it's just it's interesting to talk about. But that's the main reason why I don't see it happening is because Matt LaFleur is not he's not gonna let them do it. There's no way that he would let them do that. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would be shocked, you know, but we've seen crazy things happen this offseason, so we'll see. We'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, we can save if it happens, we can talk about it. How about that?
Yeah. If it happens, I'm gonna have a fun season on TDL. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna be enjoyed. I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. No, let's not get ahead of ourselves, though.
Everybody be like, say something bad about him. Like, nah, man. Did you see that read that he just did? Like,
all right. That's funny. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the show, guys. Thanks to everyone who tunes in each and every week. We see your comments, we see your feedback. We really appreciate it. You know, if there's something that you guys still questions that you guys need answered, hit us in the comments. We try to read all of them. You can hit us on Twitter as well. Myself at BDWilliams18. Hit my co-host Marcus Johnson at TheMarkJohnNFL. As always, guys, we really appreciate it. Hit subscribe button, turn on post notifications, talk to your friends, tell them about the Take Don't Lie Raiders Film channel. Peace.